Hello friends, welcome to VDS Tech Lab. So this is the continuation of concept of an API series. In this video we'll discuss some more important terminology. So let's open the PDF file that I have made for you. Okay, so in this video we'll discuss about API request, API response, payload, what is header, and what is API contract. These 5 terms we will discuss in this video with the help of an example. Okay, I'll show you the example as well. Let's start. So before starting, I'll show you my playlist of concept of an API series. I have discussed all basics things like what is API, what is web services, API versus web services, API terminology like base URL, endpoints, resources, what is path parameter, query parameter, URI, URL, URN, what are these things we have discussed. These are very important. Before going to deep dive, we should know all these things. Okay. So in this video, we'll also discuss a basic terminology only. This is part 4. So what is an API request? API request allow to retrieve data from data source or to send data. APIs run on web server and exposes endpoint to support the operations client application used to provide their functionality. Each API request uses an HTTP methods. Okay, so see, if we'll go to the postman here, okay, there are various methods are there, but mainly we have to work on in 95% we are working on get, put, post, delete and patch method. These 5 methods are used mainly. Okay, so what we were discussing, a request. Okay, so see, we are requesting with this URI, okay, with this endpoint URL. So this is the endpoint, and I'll show you the demo websites as well. This is okay. So see, if list of the user, this is the base URL, this is your base URL, okay, and this is your resources. So it completes the endpoint. So this is the complete endpoint actually. This one is okay. So and we are sending the request by using this URI. Okay. So let's go to the document here, a request. And a response, what is the response? A response, an API specification needs to specify the response of all API operations. Each operation must have at least one response defined, usually a successful response. Response is defined by its HTTP status code and data returned in the response body or headers. I'll show you practically these things. An API response consists of body, headers and status codes. So see here, if we talk about the response, let's suppose if we send the request and this is the response actually. Okay, response contains what? Body, headers, status. This is the 200 means successful. Okay, so these are the things that we can see in a response. Okay, the response form of JSON, in form of JSON actually. Okay, now let's go to, so, and what is payload? Payload is an API module in the body of your request and response message. It contains data that you send to the server when you make an API a request. You can send and receive payload in different formats, for instance JSON, XML. Okay, so see, if we'll go here and if we'll go to the post request, so see, this is endpoint URL, base base URL plus resources, so it completes endpoints, and this is the request body in the JSON. If we see, if we click here in raw, and there is various formats are there like text, JavaScript, JSON, XML, HTML. So we are taking JSON. So this is the JSON. Okay, and this is the post call. In post call we have we should have a body payload. Okay, request body. So if we will send here, so also in the same way we'll get what? Status code, like 201 is for creation. Okay, this is the time, size and all these things. and this is the body that we are getting in form of output, actually a response in form of JSON. Okay, and we'll see what is header. This is the default things, and if we require some from from request side, then we need to put like authorization and many things, so that we'll discuss. So this is about the request and response, and about the payload actually. Okay, now we'll go here. And what is headers? Header in API call, headers actually very important term. Headers are an important part of API request and response, as they represents the metadata associated with the API request and response. Headers carry information for request and response body, a request authorization, a response caching. So this is about the headers. Okay, these. Now we'll go next. What is an API contract? API contract actually documentation of an API. This document is to place where you declare how your API will behave. It includes the endpoint URL, actions of each endpoint's arguments, which method we have to use, examples of responses, and any other details that development team thinks it is to be documented. So that they will be documented. API description format like OpenAPI, Swagger is the example of API documentation. Actually, OpenAPI, Swagger, I'll show you, have automated the documentation process, making it easier to the team generate and maintain them. So I'll go for the Swagger documentation, where see here, this is the Swagger UI, and you can see just it is for an example. This is a post, and where how we need to provide, and we can run from here, try it out. Let's say go try it out, and you can do it. Okay, so this is the actually Swagger API, Swagger documentation. Okay, so that's all about in this video. So far we have discussed what API request, response, payload, header, and API contract, that is documentation. Okay, so thanks for watching this video. Please share, subscribe, and like this particular video. So thank you, thanks a lot.